Alright, welcome to another episode of the Dabbling DIYer. Today we got a really quick project. This is going to go along with our garden series. We're going to build a herb planter. Just follow along with this video. You don't need a lot of tools for this. So here's what we're going to be using today. We've got our cedar fence pickets. You can pick these up at your big box store. I think they're around $4 a board. We're going to need 5 of these. So we'll have roughly $20 in these planter boxes. And again, these are cedar. We're going to need a drill. We're going to need some glue. And my method of putting these together today is actually going to be brad nailer. So I've got my air compressor, my brad nailer, 1.25 inch brad nails. Tape measure and a pencil is all you're going to need for measuring. And I'm going to use a miter saw to cut these. So let me get these boards cut really quick, and then I'll go over the measurements with you, and we'll build this herb planter together. Alright, so we have our boards cut. I have 9 boards cut to the same length. These are all 22 inches. That's going to be the width of our boxes. So here's how it will go together. Basically, we'll have our 2 sides and we'll have a bottom. Alright, so this is going to be our boxes. Nothing extravagant about these. The only thing that we have to do now is cut our sides. So let me go over there, measure this, cut these sides, and then we'll put this thing together. So we got 6 and 5/8 for the width of our sides. So we're going to cut that real quick. Alright, so now we have our side pieces cut. These are all 6 and 5/8. Since we're building 3 boxes, we're going to need 6 of these. So basically, as simple as it gets, got our box. These are going to be our sides. It's going to cover all the end grain on these sides. Alright, let me get the air compressor hooked up. We're going to nail these 3 boxes together. I'll show you what they look like as soon as we get done. Alright guys, we're losing daylight, but we did get the 3 planter boxes put together really quick. Come back with me in the morning and we'll get the rest of this herb planter put together. Alright, I appreciate you guys coming back this morning. So where we left off last night was we had our 3 boxes built. Nothing special about these. So now what we're going to do is we're going to work on the legs for these, and we're basically going to make a ladder style planter box. That way we can stand it up against the house or up against the deck, and that's kind of what it'll be. So we're going to figure out the angle that we're going to need, and I'll get back with you as soon as I figure that out. Now, to get the angle I want on the feet, this is all I'm going to do. I'm going to set the board up here. Whoopsie. All I'm going to do is take my level. Once I get the board lined up how I want it to be on the 3 boxes, you just want it to be touching all 3 boxes. can probably just take it level or something straight. And just mark your line. And that's going to be the angle you want to cut your foot on. That way it'll sit flush on the ground. Let me get this cut and we'll take a look at it. Alright, so I've cut that angle cut on my board. So we're just going to set it up here and take a look at it. So now if we set it flush on the table, what we can do, just for better presentation, once we set it flush on the table, we can take and trace this, and we'll just cut this corner piece off. Alright, so now I've got this piece that's going to be sitting on the ground, and I just cut this corner off just so it lines up with the box. Let me show you what that looks like. Alright, so now we've got our bottom done. This just sits flush on the ground. We got it cut off in the front so it looks nice. And then what we did is we cut the back on a 45-degree angle. That way if we lean it up against something, it'll help stand it up. We're also going to put a leg under here just to help with wind and other things like that. But let me get the other side cut the same, and then we will go from there. Alright, so we've got both legs cut. Alright, to assemble the legs, we're going to do the same way we did the boxes. We're just going to use glue and brad nails. Now we'll come back later and put a few screws in the legs, but this is just to get it together. So I want to raise this bottom box up off the ground a little bit. So I've got 4 planks cut offs. It's going to raise it up about 1.5 inches. So we're just going to set the box up like this. We've got it raised up. Now we can come in here, and we can go ahead and just make sure you're sitting flat on the table, and make sure your back where your front's lined up. We can come in here, take a clamp if you want to. We'll go ahead and put some glue on here, and we'll brad nail this to the box. Don't be shy with the glue. We'll run around to the other side, go ahead and attach it on that side as well. Alright, so now we've got both sides of the ladder attached. So what we're going to do next is we're going to install the top box, and then we'll separate the distance and we'll install the center box. So what I've done here is I've laid it on the side. We're going to line up the top box. Let me bring you around so you can see. This is our bottom box. It's raised up off the bottom. So now we're going to line up our top box even with our backrest all the way to the point. That way this can sit up against your wall or your deck or anything like that. So we're just going to line this up, and we're going to get this nailed down. Alright, so we've got our center box just laying in here while it's on the side. So remember, you want this box to be
square to your lower box.
Alright, so there we go. So that's the angle we want on our box. So let me get this box here nailed in, and I'll show you guys what it looks like.
Alright, we've got the middle box nailed in, and I had just enough wood to rip a 16-inch piece down the middle to make these back legs. So I'm just propping it up now so we can get a look at it.
So that's what it's going to look like. All right, let me get this nailed on really quick, and then I'll let you guys take a good look at it. Go ahead and get your legs squared up vertically. That way it sits nice and level on the ground. All right, so here we have our little herb garden that we've been working on. The last thing we got to do is drill a bunch of holes in the bottom for drainage, and that will be it. And of course get some plants in it. Right, so we've got our holes drilled in the bottom for drainage. The last thing to do is to fill these puppies up with soil and get some herbs in it. Thanks again for watching another episode of the Dabbling DIYer. Our next few episodes are going to be backyard projects. I hope you guys will follow along and stick with me. We have a couple big backyard transformation projects that we're getting ready to start working on. If you guys like the video, please click subscribe, press that like button, and comment if you have any questions or suggestions. We'll see you guys on the next one.